It's that time, y'all. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Hello, 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 everybody. Hello. This is Suzette Viernan. And I am so excited. So excited about being here with you all today. Hi, I see Dee Pittman in the building. How you doing? How you doing? I see you Instagram. I see you Facebook. It is wonderful to be here, and I'm so glad for those of you who are joining me live. I hope you had a wonderful long weekend. I gotta tell you, I think July 4th in my neighborhood was celebrated. It was celebrated like all weekend long. Like all weekend long. Fireworks gone wild. And I thought that maybe with Saturday and Sunday, we were pretty much done. Oh, but last night, I tell you what, it was crazy. You know what? I hollered down the steps at my husband and I said, baby, are we in a war zone? Anybody else had that experience where they were just like so many fireworks going off and sparklers and everything all over the place till it was crazy. But can I let you in on a little secret? We were like little kids running from back and forth, looking out the windows and seeing the absolutely spectacular fireworks all over the place. It just took me back and it was wonderful. So I hope you all had a wonderful long weekend and had a very, I won't say restful, but okay, I'll say it, a restful 4th. I was thinking, I don't know if restful and 4th of July go together, but anyway, you know what I mean. I hope it was everything that you wanted it to be. So today, we're going to get into a topic that I know I used to ask myself, you know, because I was like, gee, I'm a good woman, right? I'm a good woman. So what's the deal? Why come I can't seem to get this love thing to work and I'm a good woman, right? Anybody else feeling that way? Anybody else ever felt that way? I'm looking at the comments here in Facebook as well. Anybody else feel that way? Well, I'm going to tell you. Hi, Anna. Thank you so much for joining. I'm going to tell you. You can go through some things and you start to wonder, like, what's wrong? Like, do people, it's almost like, do I repel love? Has anybody ever felt that way? Do I repel it? Right? So I really want to go more deeply into it. Now, for those of you who have been following me, you know that I've been having issues with looking at comments on Facebook. Well, I found a way. My trusty cell phone. So now I can look and I can see your comments in real time instead of having to wait to respond. So I am so grateful for that. That is so helpful to me. And I'm going to sit it right here so that I can see it and I can respond to your comments as they come through and see you as you join in. So here we go. Do good women succeed in love? Well, first of all, I think we need to redefine what a good woman is. Don't you think so? Hi, Sonia. Thank you for joining. We have to redefine what a good woman is. Now, when I was coming up, a good woman was a woman who went to church, right? She knew how to, as my mom would describe it, keep house. She knew how to take care of a home. She knew how to cook. She knew how to take care of a household. That made you a good woman. If you went to college, or had a good job, a stable job, if you were a hard worker, that made you a good woman. Anybody else out there that was what the definition was? That made you a good woman, And so when I looked at myself and I judged whether I was lovable or not, or marriageable or not, I looked at those things. I went to church. I had a great job. I knew how to keep house. So that was the main thing, But then when I left home and I went to college and I experienced things in a way that I had never experienced them before, then I started to wonder, right? And so then the things kind of progressed, because it was like when I moved away from Kingston, I got to shout out my home people. Hi, Christy. I'm glad you made it. Yay. But when I ventured away from home and started living on my own a little bit, and I don't know if this happened to anybody else, but with me, I started coming across men that I deemed as friends. And then I would find out later on, I don't know what would make them feel courageous enough to admit it, but somehow or another, between my bite of dinner and my sip of tea, he decides to tell me that he's had feelings for me all this time. Anybody else go through that? So that was my entry into friendships and the possibility of them becoming romantic. Prior to that, I didn't have that happen too much. But something about getting away from home, college, living out on my own, getting together with people, somehow or another, I found myself constantly sitting across from somebody who was telling me that they had been caring about me. They had carried a torch for me. They liked me all these years, but something happened where they kept it to themselves. So then I'm like, well, then what do you do with that? Do you give it a chance? And I'm like, sure, I'll give it a chance. So then that kind of ushered me into this thing about friends. People say the best for friends make the best lovers, or something like that. So, or that you know that you want the man that you marry or the man that you're committed to be your what? Best friend. So I went down that path. Well, that path didn't work out well either. So, okay, the good woman path didn't work out, right? And the men I thought were friends and it slips into something romantic, that didn't work out either. So then it made me scratch my head some more and say, why is it? What's going on? People around me are getting married. People I went to school with are getting married. People I went to college with are getting married, or they're getting booed up. There's somebody hanging around with them that they saying, this is my man, this is my woman, but it wasn't happening for me. And again, love God in the church. My mom made sure that her daughters knew how to keep a house. I knew how to do that. I knew how to make sure the house was taken care of. I knew how to take care of other people. I knew how to do that. And I knew how to make money, right? I could bring home some bacon too, help the family out. So I knew how to hold down a job. But that definition evidently wasn't enough. And for those of you that are listening that are in relationships, I'm sure you're saying, girl, no, it take more than that. And I didn't know that. It took me years to finally figure out what it was that I didn't know. So first of all, being a good woman by itself is not a predictor that you're going to be successful in love. So when things go bad and you start scratching your head and saying, but I'm a good woman. Okay, let's kind of throw that one out. Because if you're like me, being a good woman by itself did not secure you the kind of love you wanted to have. Anybody willing to admit that? That just being a good woman wasn't enough. Just being a good woman by itself was not enough for you to have the kind of love that you wanted. It wasn't enough to keep you from getting divorced. It wasn't enough keeping you from getting your heart broken. It wasn't enough to keep you from picking your Mr. Wrong and trying to turn him into a Mr. Right. It wasn't enough. But a lot of us, that's all we got. And so we spend endless hours praying. We spend endless hours trying to educate ourselves more. It's almost like, okay, well, maybe I need to be more of these things. And maybe if I'm more of these things, then I'll succeed in love. But can I submit to you? It's not in those things. You've got to know what you don't know, right? Because obviously there's something missing if you keep finding yourself in situationships or in love triangles or in it's complicated or in I thought he was the right man but then he wasn't. There's something that's missing. Can we agree? If it's not working for you, being the good woman that you are, there is something missing. Okay? So let's agree about that. So I have my trusty journal and I jotted down 3 things that are necessary along with you being a good woman. There's some other things that are necessary for you to know in order for you to succeed in love. One of them is you have to be available. I'm going to let that sink in. Because for some of you, you think you are. I'm single and I'm ready to mingle. A lot of you think you are available. But can I ask you something? Are you constantly on high alert? Or let me put it this way. You're fine, but as the relationship requires more, as the intimacy deepens, how comfortable are you? How comfortable are you? Do you start getting like, oh, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. Do you start pulling back? Do you start pushing back? Right? How available are you? Or does that fear of getting hurt cause you to back up? Or the fear of losing yourself, does it cause you to back up? Or the fear that he's going to expect you to give up something that's meaningful to you, does that cause you to back up? Do those tapes start playing of what happened in the past? Those ghosts of relationships past, do those ghosts show up and intimidate you? And let me ask you something. How comfortable are you with your own vulnerabilities? We talked about being courageously vulnerable. Are you courageously vulnerable? Or do you try to hide your feelings? Do you only have one speed? One speed, and that's accusing. Do you keep an accusatory tone? Well, he doesn't do this and he didn't do that and you didn't do this and you. That's not available. Are you constantly judging? Are you constantly critiquing? Then you're not available. And in order to succeed in love, you need to be available. Are you so busy that a man would have to hurl himself on the top of the hood of your car for you to stop long enough to see him? Are you so busy that a guy would have to literally jump in front of you in order for you to see? Right? So in order to succeed in love, number one, available. Number two, you have to be open. Now, not to be confused with easy, right? Not to be confused with he can just have you on his terms. No, not to be confused with that. Not to be confused with erasing yourself out of the picture. You know, we talked about whatever you like, whatever you want. That's not open. That's just crazy. That's just crazy. Somebody that you don't even know well. We talked about it. We called it premature submission. Y'all remember that? No. Let me tell you what open is. Open means you're not carrying emotionally baggage from the past. That means you're open. Open means every time you encounter a man, you're not constantly comparing him with a past love or a past ex. Either he better not be like the last one, or I don't know if I'll ever find a love like the one I had before. Either way, that means you're not open because somebody else from the past still has your attention. They still have your emotional attention. You're still focused on them and you're comparing the other man sitting in front of you to a past love. That means you're not open. If a past hurt, past experience keeps coming up before you and you're afraid, then you're not open. If you're fearful of getting hurt, you're not open. If you're leading with, Lord, please help me because I don't want this to happen again, you're not open. This happening again still has you in its grip. You're not open. In order to succeed in love, you have to be open. And the third thing, willing. Willing. Are you willing to learn to do love differently? Or are you going to cling with your last dying breath to the fantasy, to what's not working? Right? You have to be willing. You have to be willing to learn what you don't know so you can see what you don't see. And you can recognize what you don't recognize. Let me let you in on a little secret. Love is all around you. Love is not hard to come by. It's that you don't know what you don't know. And because you don't know it, it makes it very, very hard. Imagine, I'm going to give you a metaphor, right? Imagine your destination is love, right? And so you get behind your car and you're ready to drive toward that desired endpoint. I want true love. I want true companionship. I want a great experience of love. Or if you're like me, I ain't going out like this. I ain't gonna going out not knowing what real deal love feels like. Okay, that's your destination. That's your vision. Okay, I'm with you, sis. I got you. But how in the world can you expect things not to be bumpy and hard if you're driving in dense fog? And that dense fog is you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what makes you enough in a relationship. You've never been taught how healthy people relate, so you don't even know how to be healthy in a relationship. And you don't know how to recognize a potential partner. You're still in the school of trial and error. And more error in your trial. More of the same thing. Hey, Akela, thank you. Real love comes from the inside of us. It truly does. And so many of us don't even know who we are. We don't even know what makes us lovable. So how can real love find you if you don't know what makes you truly enough? What makes you truly lovable? What makes you the best thing that's ever happened, not just to him, but to you? And so many of us high achieving women have been reared and sired in the relationship school of performance. If we know how to cook, if we know how to clean, if we're great in bed, if we know how to work, if we know how to help, if we know how to help you reach your dreams, if we know how to do love, we'll succeed at it. But love is not something you do. You don't do your way into a man's heart. And so many of us have been reared by people, that's all we saw. And that's what people told us. If you're a good woman and you do these things, you will succeed at love. But it didn't work. So the cart is before the horse. You've got to know that you're enough first. You've got to know that you're lovable first. You've got to know what it is you don't know first. You got to clear that fog from in front of you so you can see where you're driving. Because I don't care what you do. If you don't clear the fog, you're going to keep driving your car into a tree. If you don't know what you don't know about men, and let me tell you something, a bad experience with a man does not make you a professional at determining and seeing and recognizing a good man. I've heard too many times we women say, girl, after all you've been through, you deserve a good man. Girl, after that last thing that you came through, you deserve somebody who loves you. Huh? When has making mistakes, continuing to bang your head against the wall, having relationship fail after relationship fail, since when does that qualify you for real love? Who is it that said, when you know better, you do better, right? And I'm going to add to that, when you know better, you choose better. When you know better, you choose better. I love my mama, oh, so much, and may she rest in peace. But one of the things that she used to say to me when I would ask her about how do you know if a man is the one, she said, baby, you ain't gonna never know a man till you marry him. Huh? What? No, there's got to be some telltale signs that good women are missing. There's got to be something that's happening where the dots that are being connected, how you are qualifying and rationalizing and making sense out of what happened to you in the last relationship, evidently it ain't working. Right? It ain't working. And so in order to succeed in love, you got to know. So I'm going to recap it. The 3 things in order for you to succeed in love is, first, you got to be willing. Second, you got to be open. Third, you got to be available. You got to be those things, right? And if you've never seen it and you've never known it, trying to figure that out on your own is like driving through thick, dense fog. But guess what? There are people out here who know the way. And let me tell you how I can tell you these things. Because I found love. It took me till I was 50 years old to connect the dots. And to realize no matter how smart I was, I could not figure it out on my own. I had to humble myself. And instead of investing in distractions, I had to start investing in the help that I needed. Because a good woman is not all right with constantly being manipulated, constantly being hurt, constantly losing herself in relationships. A good woman is not okay just bungling around, hoping that something will stick. Just bungling it around, trial and error. No, a good woman cares enough about her health and her well-being. She cares enough about her heart to invest in knowing what it is she doesn't know, because she loves herself too much to keep right on staying in intolerable situations just because it's familiar, or just because it fit the old definition or somebody else's ideology of what love is supposed to be. She stops and she says, wait a minute. This I can't eat, I can't sleep thing, this confusion, I don't know whether to go right or go left thing, this trying to explain to the man that's in my life what I need and him not being able to give it to me thing, this is for the birds. But I don't know any different. So let me go somewhere where somebody can teach me what I don't know. Let me go somewhere. And that's what I did. I did the work and invested in my own rescue. And I am your guide if you will allow me to be. And sure, this is great. Me giving you these tips, it's great. It's great. But a tip over here and a tip over there and a tip over there and a tip over there, it still doesn't give you the full picture that you need so that you can see clearly what's right for you. You can see clearly what you don't know. You can see clearly how to navigate as you drive toward true love, that you can become involved in your own rescue, and you've got a GPS, you've got a map, a trusted map that works. The reason I can say these things is because it worked for me, and the reason I can say these things is because that's what I do. I help high-achieving women who struggle in their relationships to break the cycle of failed relationships and attract real deal great love into their lives on their terms. I align them with their authentic truth so they can date authentically and relate authentically. I help them to know what it is they don't know, so they'll stop losing themselves in relationships and erasing their peace in the process. I equip them so that they can wipe that fog away and know exactly the direction they're going in, and know that they deserve the great love that they're getting. They don't have to prove it. They don't have to do penance. They don't have to earn it. They just have to be themselves. They just have to be who they truly are and know what it is they don't know. I teach them how to recognize good men, so they don't keep right on getting these other men that they're familiar with, but it ends up being the same man, just different shoes. That's what I do. And I'm here to let you know that you don't have to continue to struggle. I know it's almost been normalized to struggle in relationships. It's been around us all our lives, seeing all these drama and all this stuff. It's been modeled for us. It's been glamorized for us. It's been the stuff that makes the romantic comedies, the things that we look at. The whole drama of love. But after a while, you get tired of the drama. You get tired of banging your head against the wall and blaming the wall. You get tired, I'm going to say it again. You get tired of banging your head against the wall and blaming the wall for it. I'm available to talk to any one of you who want to talk to me and see if there's something that I can do to help you. To help you to resolve what you're dealing with, resolve what you're going through, and be clear and enjoy love. It's not supposed to hurt. I don't care what anybody tells you. It is not supposed to hurt. It's not supposed to be something you settle for. Because after all, I do have a man. Other people don't have one. You can have great love. All you have to do is reach out. That's all you have to do. Well, I hope that what I've shared today has benefited you. I'm so glad to see those of you that have hung in here on Instagram and those of you that have hung in here on Facebook. I got so into what I was talking about that I stopped looking at my cell phone to see who was commenting. But I promise you I will check all the comments later. And if you have any questions, let me know. And if you really want to talk, just direct message me. I promise you, I'll tell you the truth. I promise you, if there's a way I can help you, I'll tell you. But the choice is yours. Are you important enough to you to learn what it is you don't know so that you can have great love in your life? All right. Until next Tuesday, you are worthy. You're worth it. And guess what? You're more than enough. Bye now.